I hope it's not the last time that we see him. But I do think it's like the best boost of encouragement that you could get to when I did learn that he would be introduced in Ironheart, because of course we know how much the fans and how long the fans have been waiting for that. So for it to be in this show that they get
Comic
him,
Bros, it's your boy Super Duper Sean, and this is Power Comics. Today we talking about the Ironheart series. I see there's a lot of criticism out there, and I want to know, is it justified? What do you guys think about this Ironheart series? So we're gonna go through an article reviewing it. Also, I have an interview of Anthony Ramos talking about his time and how he felt when he was playing the Hood. I will be responding to his comments on kind of how he felt about the show when I was watching Ironheart. I've seen people say this is the worst Marvel series ever. And I'm like, yo, that is just simply not true. Not when we have Sticky Fingers running around as Blade, bro. Like, come on, man. Come on. I do think Riri Williams as a character regressed a little bit with this series, and that was majorly disappointing because, in my opinion, she was the best thing in Wakanda forever aside from Namor. I thought she had motion, and this series was prime for takeoff after her performance in Wakanda Forever. Instead of taking the Riri Williams from Wakanda Forever, we kind of get a whole different character. This was somebody who sacrificed her mind, body, and soul for a nation that she wasn't even from. She carried nothing but heroic traits in that movie, and this series kind of strips her of her heroism, and it does it early. Also, another thing I did not like is it's kind of hard for y'all to sell me on Riri Williams being broke. So broke that she has to resort to sacrificing her morals just to earn a few bucks when she's running around with some of the most expensive tech mankind has ever seen, and even more technology in her bedroom than what's at your local Best Buy. But the story writers are spending time trying to tell us that she's so broke that she's willing to resort to crime, and I feel like that's why it's not sticking with a lot of people. It's just not a good storyline to stand on coming from the character we seen in Wakanda Forever.
Was there a moment on set where it kind of really hit you like, ooh, this is what we're about to do?
I think there were several moments. I think that moment for me was in episode 3. It really was, because we see Riri turn cold-blooded for a second, you know? And that is not what heroes do. And I think after we spent so much time establishing that this is this young, driven, ambitious girl who really wants to, you know, prove herself, and she has these great ideas, and we're seeing all the positives of it, but then in that moment we see the humanity of it and the reality that she's scared for her life, and that she doesn't know who to trust, and that she's been in some wild situations since Wakanda Forever, and all she wants to do
just not it's just not good. Now, it's one thing I didn't like. Now, the way they did the Natalie AI, it felt like it came out of nowhere, and we really didn't get a good explanation on how she turned Natalie into AI. And if we got an explanation, it didn't really feel like it made much sense. Now, to me, if y'all want to go, she don't have that much money, y'all should have just had her hack Siri and had her use Siri, of an AI that's already been created, and she just used her great mind to hack it. Because we all know when we don't have any money, when we don't have resources at our fingertips, we figure stuff out. And that would have been an excellent thing for Riri to figure out is, yo, I'm going to hack Siri and make her my AI. Like, she's already super smart, Siri that is, and she would have been perfect for the job, but y'all dropped the ball and made it Natalie. Now, we all know in the Invincible Iron Man run, it's actually Tony Stark. Tony Stark is wiped off the map, and Riri honors him by making him her AI when she becomes Ironheart. We all know. If they would have had Tony Stark as her AI in this series, all hell would have broke loose. Y'all would not have liked that at all. And people would have been rioting in the street if Tony Stark was Riri Williams' AI. So we're not even gonna go there. And a lot of the cast seems forced to me. A whole bunch of, like, why does the black guy gotta wear a bunch of makeup and be excessive? And why does the chick gotta be this super, super tough fighter? A lot of that seemed forced and not genuine. I'm just telling the truth. That's just how I feel. Do I have a problem with it? No. But I'm talking from a perspective of a story writer. I'm talking from the perspective of a storyteller. I'm a storyteller myself. A few of those characters seem forced and out of place, and that is rubbing people the wrong way as well. At the core of this show, after I watched the first 3 episodes, somehow, some way, I still wanted more. When July 1st comes, I'm still gonna watch the other 3 episodes. It is a lot of fun if you go into it with an open mind and you kind of just take it for what it is. A teenage Marvel show. Could it have been better? Yes. 1,000 times better. But it is not what the Rotten Tomatoes scores say. It's definitely not that bad. I don't get wrapped up into all these reviews. I like to make my own opinion, watch the show, and give it to you guys straight raw. Now, what else did I like about this? This show is going to live and die. And I mean this. This show will live and die with Anthony Ramos and the Hood, Mephisto.
Introduce someone new, a new villain to the universe that is very central, one of the most formidable villains.
The fighting scenes and the relationship between those 2 characters and Riri. I said, this show will live or die with Anthony Ramos and the Hood. Mephisto, their relationship with Riri, the fight scenes, and the growth of the supernatural saga. Ironheart is ushering in the supernatural saga. That's why the Hood is such an important villain. It sucks that it's not super well received right now, but there's still 3 episodes left, and I believe if this showdown lives up to what they're building up to, if it lives up to the hype, people will change their tones and change their opinions on how they feel about the show. I mean, the Hood's already teleporting, using flying, using telekinesis. He's already doing this. 3 episodes in. He is a very, very bright spot. Anthony Ramos is killing it in this role. Bring on the supernatural saga, man. I am here for it. We get Mephisto. That will lead to Blackheart. Blackheart may lead to Nightmare. That will lead to the Midnight Suns and possibly the Dark X-Men. It is time for the supernatural Marvel. And it starts with Ironheart. It is going to be an uphill battle, but I think Kevin Feige and the team at Disney and the team at Marvel can stick the landing. Because there are some exciting scenes and some exciting developments in the story that is yet to come. Let's take a look at this article dissecting Ironheart, seeing what the people think. I will read the article and then I will give my comment on the article after I am done. This is from Yahoo, and they say how Ironheart got review bombed in time for its premiere. Yes, And they were actually trashing this before it even came out. Before even one episode was shown, people already had their mind made up not to like the show. So just keep that in mind as well. Unfortunately, we've seen this trend a few times before regarding Marvel and Disney projects lead by a POC female character. It happened to Captain Marvel back in 2019, and once again for the live action The Little Mermaid, which actually led IMDb to take action. For example, the same fate befell Ironheart hours before the series was even available for audience to watch and form enough of an opinion to review. Game Rant reports the Rotten Tomatoes popcorn meter ranting, which is accumulated from audience ratings, debuted at 32%. Something similar happened on IMDb, where the TV series apparently got started with a 4.7 out of 10 before the series was even available to stream. Now, the article is not over, but I have to comment on that right now. It's no doubt in my mind they did this to sway people's opinions. So many people had their mind made up not to like this series. And hey, man, we live in a world full of followers. Tweedledee, Tweedledum. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Go ahead, just go watch some YouTube reviews. People are saying the same thing about the show. I mean, come on, before it even came out, how do numbers debut before it even comes out? That makes no sense. It's unfair to the people who put all the work into the series. It's unfair to the fans. On that front, it's since gotten even worse, with the series having a 3.7 with 15,000 ratings. Over 50% of the rating on IMDb gave the series a flat out of 10. A flat 1 out of 10. Which is a good indicator of users just logging on to give it the worst score possible. It looks like Marvel fans are helping give Ironheart more love. In terms of Rotten Tomatoes, just 3 days later, it's a different story, as Ironheart has more accurate 60% popcorn meter rating. It seems to show that Marvel fans are fighting back against review bombs and taking the time to make sure the latest MCU series is getting more praise than all-out hate. Yes, that's good, but the damage is already done. The damage is already done because you got so many people that are just going to look at them first ratings and say, I'm not watching it. Oh, I already knew it was going to be bad before it even came out. Now, is that because a certain actress, a certain person is, and that's why these review bombs are coming out before the show? What's the hate for? What is the hate for? That's what I want to know. I want to know what the hate is for. But the damage is already done. Now, it's not like everyone who's seen the series has given it an undisputed praise. The series has a 72% critic score after they've shared mixed opinions on the series. Some of the commentary called a bit of a mess and in desperately need of soul, while others called it one of their favorite Marvel shows. Certainly, the series is going up 30% on its audience score. Shows a lot of fans care enough to make sure the show isn't thought of as a failure by Marvel. There you have it on that. The plan was to sway people's opinions before the show came out, and it happened, man. It surely did. This show is not as bad as they say it is. It's actually a fun show to sit down and watch with your family. It's not the greatest. Directed by Ryan Coogler. They put some money into it, put a little diversity in it, and that's what we need, man. That's what we need. She's not here to replace Tony Stark. She could never replace Tony Stark, man. She's her own character, walking her own path, paying homage to Tony Stark. People are looking at this the wrong way and taking the character the wrong way. Now let's go to this Anthony Ramos interview watch a quick clip of him talking about the series and we will react to it.
Marvel. So what was it like when you wind up on a Zoom with the brilliant Black Panther director Ryan Coogler, one of the just absolutely most talented, Marvel studio president Kevin Feige, and Marvel producers, like, and they were pitching you on a character. What was that like?
That was wild.
I can't imagine.
The head of Marvel pitching me on a character. I was like, yo, I'm sitting on the Zoom and I'm just seeing all their faces in the little boxes. I'm just like, yo. Ryan Coogler, Chanaka, like I'm looking at Zoe, all these producers from Marvel, and then Kevin. And then they're like, okay, so this is what we envision for the character, and this is the world, and he shoots magic bullets, and he goes invisible, and he levitates, and this is what he looks like in the comics. And I'm like, damn, y'all saw me for that?
I see that little boy looking out the window saying there's got to be something more. What a dream.
I love, though, having a Latino superhero.
I loved it,
right
and
now.
I was able to incorporate like my culture too. Like I was
Puerto Rican flag tattoo.
Well, because the show is set in Chicago.
It's set in Chicago, so there's a very large Puerto Rican population in Chicago, in Humboldt Park, Logan Square. And I was like, yo, it only makes sense because, you know, in the comic books, he's not Puerto Rican, right? Yeah. And his name is Parker Robbins. You know, that ain't the most Puerto Rican name. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm like, hey, if we're gonna set in Chicago, you know, I wanted to you know, I'm like, oh, he has tattoos, but okay, the tattoos cover his scars, but what? Tattoos of what? Yeah. You know, and I said maybe his mom was a part of the Young Lords, which is like the Black Panthers for Puerto Rican people.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I started to create this backstory with the team, and I'm like, yo, like he grew up in that, and his mom was like a freedom fighter. You know what I'm saying? That's what she was a part of that movement. She instilled that in him. And you see, that's what he does, right, in the show, right? Yeah. He's almost like Robin Hood, really.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why his crimes are justified in his mind.
Yeah.
And you know, and I was like, yo, let's put the Taino symbol, which is the native people of Puerto Rico. Right. Like, let's get the flag on here. And it's covering his scars, but it's like, that's a part of him, but now the scars are also part of him now. And, you know, so I just thought it was like a moment to, create like an authentic moment.
So this November, you are going to be running the New York City Marathon. For the first time.
Yo, and when we watch Ironheart, the first 3 episodes, we can see that Anthony Ramos made the Hood his own character. I loved it. You can see he was excited to be the Hood, and he made him his own. I say it once, I say it again. The show will live and die with this man's performance. He has been the best thing about this show. His rise and potential fall is, to me, the most entertaining thing about Ironheart. I have not cared for a villain this much in a Marvel movie since Thanos. I'm gonna keep it real. I expect nothing but greatness from Anthony Ramos, and I expect the series to end off with a bang, especially once we get that Mephisto introduction that everybody has been talking about. So, before you think about canceling your Disney Plus subscription, take a look at Ironheart and see for yourself and make your own judgment call. Don't just listen to these weirdos on YouTube who quite frankly don't know what they're talking about. I just gave you some pros about the show and I gave you some cons about the show. Now I want to know how you feel. Yes, I am an African American male, but that don't mean I gotta like everything that's African American, cause I don't, people. I don't just say, oh, just because it's black, I'ma watch it, or just because it's a black business, I'ma spend my money there. Nah, it's quality, baby. It's quality. And the show does not stink. It's not shining bright like a diamond, but it ain't a cubic zirconia either, so do what you will with that. I'm your boy, Super Duper Deuces.